Hello! Tonight we're going to talk about frisky business.
Yeah, how to tell when your fish are getting ready to do the dirty.
Hello!
Hi.
Tonight's episode is kind of about fish porn.
Fish porn.
Yeah. We have no lives. Just, we're going to talk about fish fish porn.
Yeah.
But what we've noticed is, I guess, just intro, we noticed like the koi are getting a little frisky in the background while we're filming. We're like, we haven't actually talked about that per se, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or if we did, it was just in passing.
Yeah, so just to warn you ahead of time, the koi pond is actually behind the camera.
Right, if you haven't been with us before,
yeah.
The splashing you hear in the background is the koi right behind us in the 1,000-gallon koi pond.
Yeah, occasionally you'll hear us yell out to the koi. We're not crazy, they are directly behind the camera.
Yeah. We probably should film somewhere else, but it's no fun.
Yeah.
But no, we noticed they were getting frisky. We've noticed some behavior, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about that, so you can kind of recognize it. We'll start with the easy ones. We'll start with like my guppies.
Yeah.
And the smaller tropical fish. When they're swimming and the male starts chasing the female, he'll start rubbing up against her. The live breeders are a little bit different. The male literally has sex right there. Like his little thingy comes out and it's always out, but it swings over to the side and gets her. And we won't even talk about fish rape. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Fish rape is a whole thing.
No,
it's a whole other episode.
It swings by and gets her. It's like it's attached or something.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, boop. But not that I've watched.
Not at all.
Not at all. But and you see it, but you see it in like the tetras when they start getting frisky as well, or even the cories. They'll start rubbing up against each other. They'll try to stimulate the female to release eggs. And that's what happens. They stimulate, basically that's what they're doing is they're just harassing. It looks like they're harassing and they're playing. Some people think they're just playing. And you think that's why it's very important to know if you have male and female, or all male or all female. Yeah. Because if you have a male and females, they're going to try to get it on.
Yeah, and that's basically what you're seeing is the equivalent of like foreplay.
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, they're trying to stimulate them into either releasing eggs or allowing them to mate. We see it a lot. Like I see it a lot with the guppies. I see it a lot with the mollies. I did break down and get some more mollies.
Yeah, I know.
Because I like the live breeders, so I got some more guppies. Some more. I didn't get guppies this time. I just got mollies. After my last tank disaster, my own fault by the way. But right now the mollies are very frisky. I do have a good ratio, so there's no fighting or anything. But
and from what I understand, cichlids are also really
cichlids are really breedable. I don't really want cichlids because they get too big.
Yeah, but I'm just letting them as cichlid. Anything from cichlid family apparently is really good at breeding.
Yeah, really got that. They got that down, and they breed a lot. And then sometimes it's hard to get rid of them because so many pet stores have so many of them because they breed very prolifically.
Right.
Kind of like guppies, but guppies aren't as hardy.
Right. And
so
goldfish are the same way.
Yeah, goldfish are the same way. So
koi not as often, but they still, when they breed, and if you don't get those eggs out, yeah. As we know by all of our unauthorized breeding fish out there.
Yeah. So I gave you the easy ones. The guppies and the mollies are live breeders, so they literally have to go up next to each other and they'll rub on, and literally the little penis thing. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure it's not called a penis.
Proboscis.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. We're gonna have to look that up because I'm sure Mr. Capson's gonna get on me. I call it their little penis. Swings over and it gets in there. A little fish stick. That's a very professional name for it. The fish stick.
Because we are so fucking professional.
Because I know, right? But
that's us.
Live breeders are cool. I just like seeing the babies. It's not so much about the breeding as I like seeing the babies. But the tetras, you don't see them as often breeding. I don't know the parameters of what they require.
Yeah.
I do know that occasionally some of my tetras were laying eggs, not as big as the koi eggs, but I would see them. They don't last long in a tank of mixed tanks like ours.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them a little bit about, you know more about the koris doing eggs. My koris didn't do that for a long time. Now they do, but they didn't do it.
The koris, they dance around usually anyway, but when they really start doing this little wiggle butt thing going on, and then they're chasing each other, and pretty soon you'll start seeing these white eggs on the glass.
All over. I'm sure we've got some video of that.
Yes, we do. They just spread their eggs all over anything that they can stick into.
Yeah, they're trying to get as much chance of the eggs surviving.
Right, and then the male goes around and fertilizes them, and then after about a day or two, the eggs will disappear because they've either fallen to the bottom or hatched, and then all of a sudden you've got all these baby
Well, in theory,
Corydoras.
if they survive the depending on what type of fish you
Yeah.
have in the tank.
Now, if you have other fish in the tank, it's not as likely to survive you because other fish love eating fish eggs.
Right.
So, like with our ropefish tank, we have a baby Cory maybe once a year, and only
Yeah, we had one. Yeah, we had one
Only
survive, and he's now in with the
Panda
panda cories, who we did have in a tank by themselves for quite a while.
Yeah, because we were breeding them
Because she was
specifically.
breeding them specifically, and then she
Yeah.
kind of eased off on that, and then just put them in with some plecos, with the not Roomba plecos, the bristle, oh my god, rhino plecos. Sorry about that, people. It's been a day. And so I don't know that they're going to be able to breed. We do know
No.
the minnows eat the eggs.
Yeah, the minnows eat the eggs.
We do know guppies and tetras will eat the eggs. I do know that the smaller bristlenose plecos will knock them off the glass.
Well, any pleco will knock them
Yeah.
off the glass. So, you know, if you're specifically trying to breed like Cories,
You hear in the
want-
background?
Yeah. If you're trying to breed Cories, you're going to want to keep them in a tank by themselves. When I was breeding them, the pandas, because I had like 5 pandas and I wanted a lot more. Now I've got 13. They're not the greatest. Yeah, they're not the most prolific breeders, but they're
adorable.
They're adorable little Cories, and I wanted more of them. I didn't want to spend $8 a pop for them, so I put them all in their own little tank with nothing else in there, and then just let them do their thing.
And now we have one emerald cory that thinks he's a panda cory.
Yeah, we do have an emerald Cory.
And
Panda
he's
Cory.
much bigger than them, so sometimes I'm like, oh look, we have a. Oh no, that's the baby. He's just bigger. He's one little thing. He thinks he's a panda cory, which is adorable.
Yeah.
But the goldfish are pretty obvious, and they do need specific parameters.
Mm-hmm.
So when the goldfish decide to get frisky, which happens a couple times a year depending on the water temperature and other factors that we don't know the whole details about.
Usually when it starts heating up in springtime, they start getting really frisky. But I've also seen them do it in the fall.
Right.
It's just water temperature.
Water temperature change is a big deal. For them, they need something for the eggs to hook onto. They can stimulate the girls to lay the eggs, which happens. The problem is if they don't have anything to hook onto, the guys are just floating, and sometimes the guys get so excited they just ejaculate all over the pond, which is
that's
disgusting.
something we'll talk about in a minute.
Okay.
But with the goldfish and koi, anything from the carp family, they're good. If you actually want them to breed, then you're going to have to throw some
mop heads or water
or mop heads.
Mop heads, or all it takes is plants. We made that mistake once, just once.
Yeah.
Full on made a mistake. We were like, oh, let's give them some of these cool plants that float in the water, and so that we can have the pretty plants that make the flowers in the pond because it'll look so gorgeous. Yeah, that was a mistake. Next day.
Yeah, nursery.
One day. Took one day. They were like,
day.
woohoo! Overnight, they went psycho.
Right.
They were like, woohoo! Something for the eggs to hook onto. And poor Shiva and Gareth that was before I lived here.
Yeah.
Because Shiva and Gareth spent hours.
I literally jumped in the pond and was trying to get all the plants out as quickly as possible with all the eggs on them. And I still missed a few, so we ended up with some babies.
That's how we missed the miscellaneous 6. So.
Yeah.
But, that's a good way if you want koi or goldfish. And throw plants in. Or mop heads. I mean, anything that the eggs can stick to.
Now, if you want to breed specific fish, what we suggest doing is, let's just say you have your favorite koi and you want to, you got a boy and a girl and you want to see what kind of babies you're going to make. Get a kiddie pool and throw some mop heads in there, throw those 2 fish in there and leave them overnight. In the morning.
That's all it'll take.
Yeah, in the
night
morning.
Or 2.
No, just as soon as you start seeing eggs, like you get up the next morning, there's eggs all over the mop head, immediately remove mom and dad because they're going to start jumping. Yeah, they're going to start eating those eggs.
Yeah.
They will eat those eggs. So the next morning, if you see eggs all over the place, get mom and dad out of there and then leave those eggs in that water until they hatch and then give the fry a couple of days to stabilize.
Yeah, don't pick them out too quick. We and the funny thing is you think, okay, you can put any 2 fish in there, it'll be fine. Fish are like people.
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't breed. They don't like each other.
Yeah.
So be ready for that too. You might get 2 that don't like each other, or she's not fertile.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, or he's maybe past the age or not to the age yet where he can breed. It does happen.
Yeah.
So just kind of if you don't get eggs within a day.
Even more common is people thinking that they got a boy and a girl and they actually have 2 boys.
2 boys or 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work, sometimes you have to start over. It usually doesn't take more than a day.
Yeah.
One night is all it really needs. If you don't have it in a day, maybe 2. Either change out one of the fish, see what happens. Play musical fish, or come up with a different plan for the 2 you want because they're probably not breedable age. They're the same sex. Because I can't tell you how many times we thought your fish were female, and it turns out they were male. I mean, one of the biggest fish in that tank is a male.
Yeah.
And we thought for sure he was a girl because he was so big.
Right.
For a long time we thought he was a girl, and then we saw him actively being a male.
Yeah.
And we realized we were wrong.
Right. Now, another fish behavior that you'll see of the females who are full of eggs but they don't have anywhere to lay them is that they'll start floating and they'll act like they have swim bladder disease. We've had this happen to Katsuni before.
Right.
And how to do that is basically you take them out of the pond by themselves, put them in a holding tank, throw something in there that they can go ahead and rub the eggs on. That way they don't get fertilized because there's no male in there with them, but they at least release the eggs.
Right, and that makes them feel better.
Yeah, it makes them feel a lot better.
So you will see, like, we're starting to get some behavior in the tank, so we're thinking some of the females are getting ready to knock out some eggs. But like I said, it's a whole thing.
So I guess now we can talk about the aftermath of the fish orgy that you love talking about.
Oh, it's disgusting. Sometimes the males get super stimulated and the females are not ready or not willing to drop their eggs.
Or they just don't have a place to
drop
their
eggs. So they just hold them. And the males are like, oh, we can't handle it, and they just sperm ejaculate all over the fucking pond. Multiple males will do it.
They will also do this if there isn't a place to lay those eggs and the eggs are just kind of free floating.
Yeah, they'll try. They'll try. They're like, woohoo, shoot that shit there.
Yeah.
Typical guy.
Right. Now, when you see your pond the morning
full
after, it smells awful.
Yep.
It looks like it's got this slimy film
on
it.
Yeah.
It looks horrible.
And you know exactly what it is when you see it if you're an adult woman.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, a lot of people, when they see it, they're like, what the heck happened to my pond? Oh my God. It's like, well, what happened to your pond is that all your boys
got together.
Decided to.
Because we usually, I think when one does it, they all start doing it to hope that their sperm gets to the eggs that are floating, so they all do it together.
Yeah.
As soon as one does it, the others start. Right. It's kind of like,
the only real way to clean up your pond really is, take a skimmer, skim what you can off the top, change out your filter, change out some stuff in your filter, maybe add charcoal or add some more media to it, because that filter's going to be working overtime trying to get all that stuff out of there.
Yeah, it does. I mean, yours is pretty good. But
it will eventually clear up. It'll take a couple days sometimes. Yeah. But it does look like a swampy mess when it happens, and you're just, if you don't know what it is, you freak out.
Yeah, and that's usually, more, I don't know if that's only koi or goldfish that do that. I've never seen that with the littler fish.
I've only seen it with koi or goldfish in koi ponds in particular.
Yeah.
I've been on like groups where people have freaked out, like, oh my God, what happened to my pond? It was perfect yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, your boys were getting.
Yeah, boys got frisky. Yeah. And maybe because, like she said, maybe one of the females dropped some eggs, or they were hoping. And the free-floating eggs, they were trying to get them.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to attach. So it could be something like that.
So you'll have this primordial soupy-looking pond for a couple of days. And it is disgusting. It smells bad, too. But it does eventually clear out. I mean, in order to help it along, just skim it.
Skim as much of it off as you can, So that's what we were just joking about. But and I know you want to talk about, I know it's hard for we're hoping to get, the rhinoplecals and the ropefish, but
some fish do require very specific conditions for breeding. Right. Some fish, like some of the plecos, need like a mud bank to breed in. Others, like the bristlenose, they need caves.
Right, because the female goes and puts the eggs in a cave, she hides them, and then the male goes up there and fertilizes them, and then literally stays there
and takes care
of the babies till they're big enough to be on their own.
And then we have other types of fish, like the ropefish we have here, that are displaying mating behavior all the time. That dance that they do, that everybody loves so much, is actually mating behavior. The problem is that ropefish do not breed in captivity.
At least not yet. Well, we're hopeful in this house.
Well, even the one time that I've heard of a successful breeding of ropefish in captivity, the babies died within a couple days.
Right.
So
they've got to have specific requirements that people don't know, because they are all wild caught.
Right.
We just they haven't figured out what the parameters are to reproduce that yet.
Yeah, but you'll see mating behavior with ropefish all the time. Don't concern yourself if you see it. If you have ropefish, you don't want more ropefish, don't worry about it. The ropefish are going to do that mating dance. They're very, very friendly with each other. They're very social. They will do the mating dance all day long, and you're not ever going to see that.
Right.
So don't worry about that. And when you do get new fish, check
the sexes.
Check the sexes if you can, but check up on that species and see how prolific of breeders they are, because ropefish aren't the only ones that don't breed well in captivity. There are some tetras that don't breed
Right.
in captivity.
Yeah, I've never had any of my tetras breed. I have seen eggs, but I've never seen actual babies. I've heard other people have gotten them, but I think they have very specific requirements that you have to fulfill for them.
But at the same time, you might see mating behavior, and you might be like, oh God, I'm going to expect this clutch of, insert fish name here, any day now, and then nothing ever happens. So just check up on what type of fish you have and what the breeding requirements are, and that'll tell you right off the bat if it's a prolific breeder or not.
Yeah, because we do know cichlids are super prolific, just kind of like goldfish or koi.
Yeah.
We do know that guppies and mollies are pretty prolific.
Yeah, we know.
But they are live breeders, so they don't live as there's not as many of them because they are again cannibalistic little suckers and they will eat each other's babies. We know that bristlenose plecos are pretty.
Are really prolific.
Yeah, which we thought, and when we first got them, people told us they weren't. They lied.
Yeah,
they lied a lot.
They didn't know any better.
They didn't know. They didn't realize how, because maybe they were thinking standard plecos, which I don't think are as prolific.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've only had one standard pleco or common pleco baby in the years that I've had them, and it didn't live.
Yeah, I've never had two big large ones in a tank though, but and we have the ones in the pond, but I don't think they've. Well, no, they did have one baby, didn't they?
Yeah, that's the one that died. They had one baby.
Yeah. So again, they're not as easy to breed the larger ones, and I'm sure they are. We just don't know how. So if you know how, let us know. Like, subscribe, share, comment below. We would love to hear how if you've ever had success breeding rhino croc plecos or even standard plecos.
Common plecos.
Common plecos. Sorry, I call them standard.
Yeah.
Bristlenose, we don't need your help. We got you. We got those.
Yeah, bristlenose we have.
We got that
in abundance.
Yeah. We know about goldfish. We know about koi. We know mollies and guppies.
But we are planning on breeding.
We're hoping to breed the rhino plecos. We have 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't believe that Roomba will allow anybody else in her tank, but we do have 4 others. We're hoping there's at least one female in them. We think we have.
Yeah, we think
we've got at least one, if not 2. We're not 100% sure. They're very hard to tell, even if you look at them.
Right.
Because they are younger still.
Yeah, they're only about 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
Now,
so, but we don't know if you've heard about how to do it and you've figured out a successful way. Let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, because what I've heard is it requires mud banks, and so we're not quite at the point where we're ready to.
We're not ready for that yet. Yeah. Okay,
but that's what I've heard. But I can't guarantee that that's the way to do it. It's just something I've heard.
So we would love to hear about that. We also know that frogs don't need any help.
Yeah.
So just so you know, frogs don't need help. You don't need to discuss those. I know they're not a fish, but they're kind of amphibious.
Yeah.
And the tadpoles, okay, so the roefish do like them, but still, they have no problem breeding anytime, anywhere, anyhow. If there's a body of water.
General rule of thumb, if you are actually looking to breed or something, the important thing is just if you start seeing eggs, get everybody out of the tank. Because even like a community tank, if you see eggs and you want to see what kind of eggs those are going to be, you're going to have to get everybody out of the tank.
Every other fish has to go. Yeah. So you really have to, one of the things you do is you have a breeding tank where you put the specific fish, like if you want tetras, if there's, and I'm sure like if I wanted specific guppies, I would have to move them to a separate breeding tank. Once once the mom gets the babies, the mom and dad got to get out of the tank. Because they will eat them. If those babies don't have somewhere to hide, the mom and dad are eating them. So the mom and dad get removed.
Right. Now there are some fish that do take care of their kids. Like we mentioned, the bristlenose plecos, the father will sit there and
saves he protects them.
And I think betas also for a period. The beta males take care of the babies for a while.
I haven't heard that.
They blow the bubble thing.
And then you have to get them out of the tank once they've actually.
Okay, so maybe it was a different fish, not
betas.
You
definitely have to get the female out because betas are a little harder. I've met people that bred betas, and it was like you put them together for a very short period of time. You have to be very specific. The male already has to be blowing bubbles. The female has to be at breedable age. You put him in there and you hope for the best, and if he goes after her to try to hurt her, you got to get her out quick because they'll kill her. And then once he breeds with her and you see the eggs, you immediately remove her, and then you have to remove him within 24 hours, I think it is, or something like that.
So it was a waiting period.
Yeah, there's a small waiting period where you have to make sure he fertilizes them, even though the bubbles are there. That's not fertilized.
Right. Okay, that's what that was.
Yeah, because she puts the eggs in the bubbles, and then he goes back after her and fertilizes them. Is what I believe the girl was telling me. We'll have to get a beta breeder on here to talk about that sometime. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
so basically, if you're looking to breed fish, obviously do your research. But the important thing is get the other fish out of the tank if you do see eggs and you want to find out who laid them.
Or you want them to survive.
Yeah.
Get all the other fish out, because that's why it's best if you know you're wanting to breed to put them in a separate tank. Whoever you want to breed.
And that's why breeding tanks exist.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Some fish don't like it. Like I had a guppy breeder tank for a couple of the pregnant females when I first got into guppies. I put those females in that little tiny section that's sectioned off, and they couldn't get to the other fish, and they're very communal fish. And they got, both times it happened, both females got so depressed they wouldn't swim, they wouldn't eat. I finally just took the thing away, and the females were fine. Then the babies would just go hide as soon as they were born, and they, it was kind of survival of the fittest. But the females were dying because they refused to eat, because they were trapped in this little tiny thing they didn't like, and it was in the same tank with, and they could see everybody swimming around. They were, it was the strangest thing I've ever seen. It was like a beta holder.
Yeah.
They hated it. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people have success with that. I did not. But anyway. If you have any questions, like, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a hard word for Sandy to say. We need more followers.
Yeah.
Crazy woman wants me to swim with sharks.
Yeah, basically our goal is to get 1,000 subscribers, and when we get 1,000 subscribers, I'm throwing Sandy to the sharks at Discovery Cove.
Great.
Yeah, including the 10-foot nurse shark that likes people.
Well, he's going to like you, because if I will see it, I'm walking on water. I'm telling you.
So if you want to see Sandy's best impersonation of Jesus Christ, please get all your friends to subscribe, share us around, tell people about us. We love the comments we get. We love.
We still want to make Koi Rana, buy some stuff.
Yeah.
We still want that. We haven't given up. We're still hopeful.
Yeah.
The Koi would love it. But
also, if you have any questions or
we love questions.
any suggestions for shows, like if you've been waiting for us to do a show and you're like, why aren't they doing something obvious, like, why, well, to give you an idea, it wasn't until episode 50 that we finally got around to explaining how to set up an aquarium. Yeah, that's how bad we are. We've been doing the show like 49 times.
We need more followers, that's all.
Yeah, we did the show 49
times.
It was 49 times, and I was like, we've never done a show on how to actually set up an aquarium. So a lot of things will slip our minds. So if there's something that,
because we're just so used to doing things, we don't think that what we do on a daily basis is something that's we don't remember to talk about it.
Right.
So if you ever want to know something, just let us know. We would love to answer your questions. We'd love to have an episode on something you would like to hear about. And again, even if it's a fish we don't actually know about, we will research it for you.
Yeah.
We'll go and do the research for you if you're too lazy to Google. We'll Google for you.
Or we'll talk to people, like we know people at aquarium shops.
We know, we go to a lot of aquarium shops and such. And so like, subscribe, share, comment below. We're going to be doing some more field trips.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do field trips about fish.
Yeah, ones are fish related this time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was fish related.
Yeah, a while back, you probably saw, if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram or any other social media that we have that we don't know about because we have somebody else who does that for us.
Mr. Captions.
Yeah, he was,
no, he doesn't. It's not Mr. Captions. I'm just teasing Mr. Captions. Please don't yell at me.
Yeah, no, we actually have a social media specialist named William, who is usually the first person you talk to when you reach out to us from social media. And we'd send him some pictures of us at day drinking at a drag show, and it was like, well, it's wine, and we do drink like a fish all the time. Sure, let our fans see what we're doing on our time off.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there were no fish involved.
We actually were going to go over to the river and see there was some fish in the river, and I was going to take her over there to see if we could film them because they're alligator gar.
2 bottles of wine, that wasn't happening.
In 2 hours. In 2 hours.
2 hours before.
Not just 2 bottles of wine, 2 hours, and 1 bottle before we ever ate anything.
Yeah.
So, and then probably half the other bottle before we ate anything. But originally the intent was to walk over to the river, and there were some alligator gar that swam around pretty close to and I was going to be like, let's get this on video so we could use it. And that didn't happen.
No. We were lucky we made it,
Yeah, we had to walk around a bit before we could get in the car, but and we were there for a good 2 hours after we finished drinking. Please don't get us wrong, but we still weren't in any shape to walk out in the heat and go find the river, which was about 2 blocks away.
Helpful tourist tip. If you're visiting Florida, don't drink and then go out in the sun and think you're going to be okay. It's not going to happen
because it intensifies the alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, we were fine. Don't get us wrong. We waited. Like I said, it was almost 2 hours before we drove. Don't get us wrong. But it wasn't something we were going to go walking around either and reactivate anything.
Yeah.
We were pretty done at that point. But we are going to try to do some actual field trips where we go and talk about fish.
Yes.
There has to be fish involved.
Or something.
Maybe. Well, it would be wrong if we had fish dinner. Probably.
Yeah, that would probably be wrong.
Probably be wrong.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Sorry.
All right. Because, there's, the place right up the road and you can feed the fish, the catfish, you can feed them. You
And
throw
then
the
eat them?
Well, no, we eat first, and then we
Uh-huh.
go throw food to the catfish, and the catfish come up and we can videotape it. That would be fish.
Okay.
But we can eat the gator and the calamari and the shrimp. We won't eat an actual fish. We'll eat gator, calamari, and shrimp. How about that? And then we can go feed the catfish and we can show them.
Okay.
That'll be our next try.
I think Sandy's hungry.
I'm not. Oh my God, we had such a huge dinner.
Tonight we're having a field trip on going out for dinner.
No. I'm just trying to think of things we could do that we actually do anyway. We always go to that restaurant. We're like, probably should turn that into an episode. We could do that.
I'm sure we can go to the sushi place or the Asian place that has the aquarium.
The aquarium, fill the videotape the aquarium.
It's like, look, it's another place with fish.
Yeah. See, that's how we're thinking. We need to think about that because we go out to dinner once a week. So, but so we'll have to incorporate fish into our dinner. There's that. We can go to Cheddar's. They have the whole fish tank in the back.
Oh God, yeah. So we're gonna do a special tour of places that have fish tanks.
Fish tanks. That's fun. That'll be fun. Little fish bites. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, comment below.
We have no life.
We have no life. We do have a life. It's just
Weird.
Yeah, we're weird. We admit it. I have a shirt on.
So do I. I have my.
Oh my God, she's wearing a shirt, people.
Yeah, why?
Notate on your calendars.
Yeah, why do you hate me? No Bulls shirts.
But we really would love your comments. We really would love to hear from you. We would really love for you to subscribe, like, share, comment, comment. Well, I love comments. I love when you ask questions. If we don't know the answer, we'll find it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we're good like that.
if you have any, you have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.